Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to be here today to give this speech in this lunch in honor of the European Australian Business Council. As the organizers asked me, the objective of this intervention is to present the most salient features of the current expansion of the Spanish economy. Since 2014, Spain has grown at rates higher than those of most European countries. During these years, Spain has recovered the competitiveness lost before the crisis. Inflation, unit labor costs, and markups have performed better than in the euro area. This has resulted in strong export growth during all these years. In fact, in 2017, exports has been 35% above the pre-crisis levels. This improvement in external competitiveness has allowed Spain to increase its market share in world trade. Exports to Australia are an excellent example of this. Since 2009, exports of goods more than doubled. Contrary to the experience before the crisis, now the unemployment rate is falling significantly, and at the same time, the current account exhibits a sustained surplus, close to 2% of GDP, the gross domestic product. This is probably one of the most remarkable features of the current recovery and something unprecedented in the recent economic history of the Spanish economy. The Spanish banking system is now more solvent and efficient than before the crisis. And after this restructuring of the banking sector, we had some mergers, the transformation of most saving banks into commercial banks, and the injection of public funds to restore the solvency of some saving banks in order to ensure the savings of millions of small savers. This restructuring process of the banking sector has also led to a significant recovery and increase in the flow of new credit at the same time that the private sector was deleveraging. Households and firms has reduced in more than 60 percentage points of GDP their level of debts. Therefore, the economic recovery is allowing the deleveraging of the private sector, and at the same time, increasing the flow of new credit, with an average rate of growth close to 10% since 2014. This flow of new credit are financing investment, new jobs, growth at a lower cost than before the crisis. As a result, the investment in machinery and new equipment is now above the maximum levels before the financial crisis. This deleveraging process of the private sector is taking place through an improvement in the financial capacity of the households and firms. And the net lending of the private sector now covers the deficit of the public sector and allows the Spanish economy, as I said before, to maintain a current account surplus close to 2% of GDP. Fiscal consolidation and economic growth have made it possible to reduce the public deficit from 11.2% of GDP in 2009 to 3.1% in 2017. Despite this adjustment, public consumption per capita was 5% higher than before the crisis, and there has been an enormous effort to preserve the most important elements of the Spanish welfare states. Nevertheless, in periods of growth such as the current one, the Spanish economy needs to strengthen its fiscal space to face future expansions and to improve the sustainability of the welfare state in the face of aging. The results in terms of employment are also remarkable. According to the Social Security, yesterday we knew the latest numbers, 86% of employment lost during the crisis has been recovered. At the current pace, at the end of next year, Spain could reach the level of employment of 2007. Given that unemployment explains 80% of inequality in Spain, employment creation is crucial to ensure a more inclusive society and to generalize the welfare effects of growth. At the end of 2017, real wages and productivity were about 10 percentage points above the average of the previous expansionary cycle. In short, the Spanish economy produced today more than before the crisis with higher productivity. Now the challenge is to continue creating employment and at the same time improving productivity and wages. In the short run, the increase of employment and productivity is only possible through the reallocation of productive factors to the most efficient firms and sectors. Given that permanent jobs are on average 15% more productive than temporary ones, productivity improvement requires appropriate policies to promote permanent hiring. Additional policies should be implemented to continue the improvement of the external competitiveness of the Spanish economy. This will foster the high participation of Spanish firms in the global supply chains and will have also positive effects in sectors with a large margin to increase productivity. In the short term, if existing risks such as protectionism or political uncertainty do not materialize, we expect the Spanish economy. We expect that the Spanish economy GDP will grow this year close to 3% and around 2.5% next year. In the long run, growth will be only possible through improvements in human capital, investment in research and development, innovation, and technological capital. It is therefore crucial to take advantage of the unique opportunities offered by the digital revolution, improving institutions, public sector regulations and efficiency, and removing barriers to firms and employment growth. Ladies and gentlemen, please let me conclude here. The Spanish economy should continue implementing the appropriate policies to lead our society to the highest level of individual and collective welfare, creating opportunities for all in this age of digital transformation. And in this quest for prosperity, the most advanced societies in the world, as Australia, are an excellent and a unique reference for Spain. Thank you very much.